pretty cool deal. We
Yeah.
get to spend a little more like kind of personal time, get to know you a little bit more. And there are some like business questions and like how you doing it. But I think it's a cool chance just to get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
And first of all, say congratulations. I mean, you've earned the opportunity to be here. For those of us that are on Team Altitude, we already know what you do, right? You bring it
Thank you.
big. But nine, I think it was 9 TV, really big. That paid some bills, I'm sure, but it also really stands out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So, so I'm going to give you. So I'm gonna kind of go a little off script.
Okay.
But for me, this is a really cool opportunity. By the way, you're the first person to go through the director chat. So congratulations for being at the genesis of the program.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a few questions. I'll make myself available for some questions. And then before we wrap up, we'll talk a little bit about just how you did it, best practices, and stuff we can share with folks
Okay.
elsewhere. So first of all, Keith, give me a little bit of background. Like, where are you from originally? And if it's not Utah, how'd you get here? Maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of
Yeah.
your history and what you did before you came to the company too.
Okay. Most definitely. So, originally I'm from California.
Cool.
So, from Huntington Beach. That's where I was born and raised, was Huntington Beach. Moved out here probably when I was about 16, I want to say, around the age of 16. And the main reason we moved out here is my grandparents. They just wanted to try something different. My grandma was told, by her doctor that in regards to her health condition, that California isn't, the best for her anymore. There's a lot of pollution there, a lot of stuff going on, and they pretty much just told her straight up, you have this long to live if you don't change these ways, and look at this in a better, healthy way and get in a better environment.
Yeah.
So essentially, I think that's their main cause of like moving us to Utah. So, I was along board with that. Didn't really have a choice, but yeah, and I went to high school out here. So I
Cool.
went to Ben Lomond High School and met a lot of cool people through Ben Lomond. And actually, speaking about Ben Lomond, that's originally how I'm even here today, talking about this. So Bobby, uh, he works for our in-home specialist for us, and I kind of knew him throughout high school. He played football for Ben Lomond, and essentially, I can't even say that we were close friends. We were definitely like acquaintances. Like I'd seen him, on one-off occasions here and there. Um, and it wasn't until out of high school, when I, saw him at the gym, he essentially said, "Hey, what's up? Didn't you go to Ben Lomond?" And he tried to, see how I was doing. And at that time, I was currently working for the Home Depot call center. So here in the BDO down in Ogden, I was working for them for about 3.5 years, and I think it was about 2 years through where he brought up the opportunity of AT&T. He saw me at the gym, kind of showed me his commission he was getting, his checks and everything, and he's like, "Yeah, man, they have a store open in Logan." And I stopped. I was like, "I don't know if I could do Logan, man." I did enough traveling like to Salt Lake for, school as well. So I was like, "I don't know if I could do it, man." I was like, "It does sound like a great opportunity though." I was like, "I might have to pass for now." So I passed. Didn't really get in contact with him for over a year at that point, and he reached back out to me again. It's like, "Bro, there's a store opening up in Ogden." And he was like, "I really think you should consider trying it out." And at that point, I felt like there wasn't much growth where I was, and I'm definitely a person of growth. Like if I'm not somewhere where I can progress, that's how I build meaning for myself and build meaning for people around me, is my own progression. So if I can't do that, I don't feel like I could be my best self. So I was like, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, I'll give it a try." And he said, "I already talked to a great manager out there about you." And I guess Ray. So Ray was my original manager here.
Everybody
Um,
knows Ray.
yeah, everybody knows
Ray's a
Ray.
star.
Yeah, so Ray was pretty blunt with him, through the process of them speaking together in regards to bringing me on. He's like, "How do you know him? Like, is he reputable? Like, what do you know about him? What would you put your job on the line for this guy?" Pretty much. And Bobby was like, "Yeah, yeah." he heard about me. He heard about like the kind of person I am, from people. And as I said, I couldn't even consider him as like a friend now. Of course, I'm blessed to have Bobby, um, for him to have come into my life to give me this opportunity. It's all for a reason, and I couldn't be more blessed to be here and have progressed to where I'm at today. Even though I have a lot ways to go, this is I can't even say the middle point. We got the sky to reach. So that's essentially what we're trying to do here. But yeah, that's how I came about. I was from Huntington Beach. Went to high school out here in Utah, college out here. Still in college here and there, but I have a lot of plans,
Yeah.
for myself in regards to financial progression and everything. And AT&T is my route to those plans. So yeah,
Awesome. I can tell you that the path is well worth it. So I have a question about that. We'll get to
yeah,
that in a minute, kind of your plan or where you see
yeah.
yourself down the road. But let's a
Okay.
little more about you. So if you're not in your team colors at the store, by the way, awesome that you're related to your path, and then ended
Yeah,
up at Raymond, and all that sounds exactly like Raymond, by the way. So he
yeah,
may
yeah.
see this someday. We all love you, Raymond. Um,
Hmm.
but so if you're not in your team colors, in your store, doing your thing there, what do you do? What are you doing? What do you do for fun? What keeps you busy outside of work?
Man, so originally, when I first started working here, and still to this day, the gym. The gym is my kryptonite. It gets me through everything. It's got me through, past issues I've had, mentally, like mental struggles I may have had in the past. I had a friend that actually the first friend I met throughout high school. So we went through all of high school together. Unfortunately committed suicide right after high school. So right after graduation, he was just starting his life. So the gym helped me pass that. I had a lot of things going on in my life. I had moved out when I was 18, on my own. So there's a lot of like mental struggles I had to either overcome or fall into. I chose to overcome them, and the gym was one major tool that still helps me overcome those things. I feel like I can't be the best version of myself if I don't get a workout in the morning, or on my days off. That's something I like to do. Um, but yeah, now we're adding a son into the equation. So I just have my son.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. He's 4 months old as of yesterday, actually. But yeah, he's awesome. So he's a whole new level of motivation for me. I grew up without a dad, so um, there's a lot that I need to be for not only myself but for him. So whatever I have to do to make that happen, like that's my mindset, that's my motivation, that's what I'm doing.
What's your son's name?
His name is Armani McCoy.
Armani McCoy. I like
Yeah,
it. Awesome.
Giorgio Armani, the cologne.
Jo-
So yeah, yeah,
Now, where did
man. And then
McCoy come from?
McCoy, LaShawn McCoy, football player,
Shady.
man. Yeah,
Shady.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
I'm an,
So
I'm an Eagles fan. I was hoping that's where it came from.
oh really? Heck
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
man. Yeah, yeah. Heck yeah.
Fantastic.
Gonna have a good season though. A little off note, but yeah, Jalen Hurts is gonna take us there. I feel like, man,
It's
we're
gonna
gonna.
surprise everybody, I hope.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
But
so
yeah, that's
so
that's yeah.
go ahead. So it's a great it's a great kind of progression, and I agree with you. And one of the things that I think is really important for myself and for the teams is that we're creating that balance, right? And if your center is what you do here every day, you
Hmm.
can sometimes reach a point where you resent this, right? Because this takes
Oh yeah,
everything away from all the value away from the other things. But if your center is outside of this and you realize that what you do here supports your ability to be successful in those other things, your
exactly.
family, your health, it's a really big deal. But to do that, you got to put your health and your family first. So I agree with you on the gym. I don't go to the gym as much if you can't tell, but running and cycling and I'm just kidding,
I
running and cycling.
man, in person, you're healthy, man. You're healthy. So give yourself that, because yeah, you look healthy, man.
You only get one. You only get one body. You got to take care of it. You owe it to your family, to your team, to
Exactly.
yourself, right? So,
Yeah.
okay. So we got about 5 minutes left, and I want to go back to you were talking. You said I got a lot of plans. So
Yeah.
if you could kind of tell us in about a minute where you see yourself down the road. Maybe it's 5 years down the road, and then like what's the ultimate? Like where does Keith see himself retirement day? Where did you get to? What are those things, or have you thought about that yet?
Yeah, most definitely. And I think about that day to day, and that's part of my drive. That's what keeps me going, because you have to have those things constantly on your mind to, want to put in forth that effort to thoroughly work to those things. Um, yeah, so essentially, in about 5 years, I'd like to, well, even sooner than that, we're working on getting a house right now. So that's my number one priority, even as like the only working parent right now. I'm trying to make that happen. So that's another reason why I've been grinding. So we want to get a house. We want to be moved into somewhere where that's comfortable. We have 2 dogs and our baby. So pretty full household here and a crazy cat. So we want to get to that point where we just feel comfortable as a family. That's definitely important to me. Is for my wife to feel comfortable with our son. She's home with him all day. I want them to have that room they need. In regards to AT&T, currently, I have applied for a couple assistant manager positions, so we're working through those right now. Um, so I want to, that's my next step is, ASM. And as I said, the sky's the limit. It's I'm here for growth, for progress. So that's what I'm trying to do, any way possible. And um, alongside of this, I'm like in 5 years, I want to have some sort of like independency established with my income. I want financial freedom, basically. So that's what I'm working towards. Is I'm doing a lot of reading lately, which I didn't read since high school. Whenever I was made to read, we had to read. But now
Yeah.
I take on myself to gain that knowledge. I'm really falling back into like the knowledge is power because it is, and it comes down to a lot more of not just even like the sales part of things. I'm reading a lot of books that, you know, differentiate, the difference between a man and a grown male, and just like a lot of different books like that to, help me progress mentally. Because when you're talking to customers and everything, you got to be there mentally. You got to be there mentally because if they're going through their own struggles, you got to have understood your struggles to the point where you're past those. So you're not putting your problems into the customer's problems or thinking about your problems when you're
Sure.
dealing with the problems. Instead, you're helping them get through it, because you've got that clear mindset. So that's what I've been focusing on, just knowledge is power and a lot of research and investing. So I've been doing a lot of research on investing. I hope alongside of AT&T, as I said, this is the root. So I can't do this, that, or the third without
Right.
my
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so the only way to progress my income more here is getting after it, getting it. And actually Brian, our assistant manager here, as I said, a lot of influential people out of this store, 100%. So, and I think I do want to give credit to this store for that too, because I don't know. I mean, with me as the person I am, I want to say that I would have still gotten to this point, but they definitely helped out a lot. A lot of the knowledge I have today is because of people like Brian, like Ray. Um, and yeah, so
Right.
essentially, I
Right.
just want to be financially free. I want to, live a life to where I could have the money and funds to do what I want to do for my family. I want to do everything that I wasn't able to do. So I want to get there. The foreign cars, all of it, man. I
Cool.
want to get.
Okay. So really good explanation. We got about a minute, but I just want to touch on a couple of things that you said, Keith, because I think they're really valuable and you take them with you as you go forward. First of all, you talked about the fact that you've applied a few times for ASM roles, and that is
Yeah,
one of those things. It's like when you go to the gym and you're trying to build strength in a particular exercise. You
exactly.
have to do rep after rep after rep after rep to build the muscle to the size or the shape that you
Yeah,
want it. And it's kind of that way with applying and going through the interview process. And for you, and anybody else that'll get the chance to see this, it's so important to be persistent, take feedback, go do it again. Be persistent, take feedback, go do it again. I've been through a number of steps in my career that required a bunch of interviews. And there's days when you're like, oh my goodness, I got to do another interview. I got to prepare for another one. Why didn't I get this? And it was ASM role. It took me a while. Area manager took me a little while. So stay in the fight. You're going to be really successful. And if you
thank you,
think
man.
about, yeah, if you think about this, you've got so your income, the money coming in, that's this
Hmm.
role, that's this opportunity with AT&T, and I believe you're
Exactly.
going to have a long path here. And then you've got the management side. Mike Smith, our finance guy, would be really proud. But you're learning about also retaining and saving and investing, and so that's
Yeah.
how you get to that goal. So some really admirable stuff. You got a busy 5 years ahead. Okay, so real
Come
quick
on.
before we wrap up, tell just in short, tell us how you delivered 9 premium video and got yourself here today on the director's chat. Like, what's the best practice, the secret sauce, the Keith magic? What is it?
Man, so I mean, and it took a long time for me to, come to terms with myself, with this rule, but you bring up TV every time. It is what it is. You have to do it. It's part of your job, so you should be doing it anyway. Whether they bite or not, I've been told to, just keep batting until you hit that ball, until you get that TV locked in. Um, so you bring it up, you tell them about the great deals. As long as you've done your research on it, you should know that it's a great service. It's crazy what we're doing. We have the live TV, we have the ability to download over 500 plus apps. A lot of, I think it's kind of weird. A lot of my customers love when I bring up the fact that they can record on their phone and pick it up at home, even if it's simple. Of course, every customer likes different features, but just get a few strong features that you're confident with explaining and demoing, and essentially that's how you do it. And then the talk track for closing is, we can't make it easier at this point. We got no contracts. You got the free 14-day return if you don't like it. So there's no reason for them not to try it out at that point. So even if they end up returning it, obviously that's not what we want. But if your pitch was good enough to, lead them into that 14 days and, they think they'll like it. And at the end of that 14 days, they want it, that's the goal. So you just got to be confident in what you're telling them. If you're stumbling all over the place, they might be a little unsure, like, okay, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I mean, everybody, as we progress, probably yourself as well, like it is what it is. But the more knowledge you get on it, the more times you put out on the table, even if you get those no's, like, I'm cool on it, it's going to bite, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to work. At the end of the day, we bust through our 8 to 10 hours, whatever it is. We're here to be customer oriented, give them the best service. And, right now, even behind closed doors, we know that opportunity is going to be saving money for a lot of customers. So it's not that hard to pitch.
Great. Hey, so you said a couple of things again that are really important. So this is I think some other folks are going to get to see this, and I think it's going to be really valuable for them. Um,
Good.
I would still, I'm not a big fan of the term best practice, but we use it all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's there's a right way to do it. And you talk about just know your product, know your prices, know the features, have a great pitch, but you got to
Mm-hmm.
get your bat off your shoulder every time. And we just had the All-Star game in Denver yesterday, right? And you
Yeah.
think about all those players, like how many would be there if they decided they just didn't want to swing the bat, or maybe once per game they get the bat off their shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Your input, what you're saying, like how you get it done, is you're swinging every time. Rule of
Every time.
numbers. You make contact, you're going to get your hits. You're gonna get the sales. So really
Yeah.
impressive, and knowing your stuff. Okay, so I'm going to finish with this question, and I know we're already over. So Angelo's probably like, "Hey man, we're like way over," but probably not. I'm sure he's enjoying it. Um, do you watch HBO Max?
I do, man. I
What's your
love
favorite?
HBO.
What's your favorite show or thing to watch on HBO Max?
Gosh, man, lately, I don't know. I've been, I watched the Friends reunion, of course. I'm watching a lot of kid shows on there. I got
Oh
Looney
yeah.
Tunes on, during the day. So really lately, I've just been watching a lot of kid shows, like the new um, Marvel movies. I've been watching those as well. So yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
there's a lot of great things on there. I've only had it for about, I want to say 3, 4 months now, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to go through the product and everything to know about it. You got to use it yourself. Like, we all know that. And then you got to, that, because if it's a service you don't know anything about, and it's a service you can't vouch for, then you're not going to have a time selling it. So,
Totally agree. Yeah. We're gonna leave it there. I think that's perfect way to end it, Keith. I appreciate the time.
yeah, man.
Congratulations again. Hopefully we get to talk here again, and I'll
Yeah.
see you. I'll see you up at the Big O real soon.
All righty, man. That sounds good. Look forward to
Keep on
seeing you
rocking.
guys. You guys have a good one.
You too, man. We'll talk soon.